All right, welcome back. We're going to start on lesson 4, which is, excuse me, on page 17 of our workbook. So here on page 17, we're going to start the 4th lesson, and the 4th lesson is over distance and inequalities. So with this, we're going to start looking at some further distances, and inequalities is just a range of values. So that's talking about the less than or greater than symbols. And if you want to write those, sometimes those are hard to remember. This is greater than, and this is less than. Okay, so we'll use those later on as we go. So let's go ahead and work our way through the important stuff here in this lesson. And number 1 says, which is longer, the distance from -26 to 59 or the distance from -27 to 62? Explain how you know. So I actually want to try to do this without doing the subtraction and finding the actual distances. Okay, so we've got to think out loud here where 3 students are working this problem out. And Lene says, are we supposed to subtract? Like 59 minus -26 is, okay, she's right, but that can be difficult to do. Okay, and then Michael says, wait, if we're comparing distances, I want to picture it. Let's draw a number line. Here, I'll start it. So he started a number line. He's got 0 here. He's got 59 and 62 in the right spots. And she replies, the way you drew it, the distance between 59 and 62 looks like 20. So she's saying that's 20. Yeah, fine, I know. Spacing is off, but the only thing that matters is the order, which is true. We like our spacing to be consistent, but in these examples, it's just the order, kind of like in lesson 2, the order was important, but not necessarily the space between some of those numbers when we were adding and subtracting. So let's think here. Place the numbers -26 and -27 in the blank spaces. So this would be -26, and this here would be -27. Okay, so these are kind of thinking ahead here. These are 1 apart, and these are more than 1 apart. So we're comparing from -26 to 59. So I'll draw on this picture here. The distance from -26 to -59, and the distance from -27 to -62. So we're comparing this arc with this bigger arc, okay? So we're comparing those, okay. Okay, so the longer distance is between which one? Well, the longer distance is between -27 to 62. Okay, that's the answer. But how do we explain it? What is there to explain? We can see which one is longer. Yeah, so what did we see? The distance has to be longer between -27 to 62 because the order of the numbers on the number line, we can see that. Okay, so what they're saying is I can see on this number line that -26 to 59 is shorter. Okay, it's a smaller span than -27 to 62. This could be your work right here. Drawing this number line and drawing those arcs, that could be your work there. Which way should Jay end his sentence? Choose one. We see that the distance from -26 to 59 fits inside the distance from -27 to 62. The distance from -27 to 62 fits inside the distance -26 to 59. Okay, this one actually fit inside of this one. So -26 to 59 fits inside. So A would be our answer there. Okay, so again, we're trying to find a few shortcuts here. Instead of actually having to do all the hard or the harder math, we're trying to find some shortcuts here that are still mathematically solid. Okay. You overheard two classmates talking. One says, what's the distance between -20 and 70? I think it's 50. No, it can't be. I'm picturing the number line, and the distance has to be bigger. Okay, so let's show -20 and 70. So let's say -20 is going to be about here, and 70 maybe way over here. Okay, so one's positive and one's negative. I can tell you what this person did. They just added the two numbers. Okay, but the problem is one is a negative number and one's a positive. So when you add those, you're actually subtracting. So that's not what I want. So what's the distance between them? Well, I know that the distance from 0 to 70 is 70, and the distance from 0 to -20 is 20. So if I add those two distances, 20 plus 70, I get a total distance of 90, which we looked at the other day, that you would actually end up taking 70 minus -20, and those two negatives make your positive. Okay. So algebraic habits of mind, using tools strategically. The number line can help you reason about comparing numbers, greater, less, between. It can also help you organize your calculations when you're trying to find the distance between numbers. Just like this, it's organizing your work. It is work, okay? You don't have to write stuff like this all the time to show work. All right, on page 18, we're going to look at number 3. It says, show the numbers on the number line, find the distance between them. Okay, so these are both positive, so they're going to be over here. So we got 25 and then 100. Okay, if you want to add some more spaces in there, we could think 25 as like quarters. So you got 25, then you could have 50, and then you could have 75, and then you could have 100. Let's move that 100 just a little bit closer. 100. Okay, how far between 25 and 100? Well, that's 1, 2, 3 spaces that are worth 25. So that's like having 3 quarters. So that distance is 75. Okay, that's also thinking 100 minus 25. Okay, now they've changed the numbers here just a little bit. So I got -25 on this side now, and we could say 25, 50, 75, 100 there. Now what's the distance here? Well, 0 to 100 is 100, and 0 to -25 is 25. So if I add those two, I get 125. Okay, that's also saying 100 minus -25. So you're going to add those two numbers together. When you're finding distance, you always want to take the bigger number minus the smaller number when you find distance. Okay, over here, both of them are negative. So we got -25 here, -50, -75, -100. So what's this distance here? We got 1, 2, 3. That's kind of the same. That's kind of the same as what we had on number 3, but it's on the negative side. So here we have 75 again as the distance. That's -25 minus -100. Okay, you're going to add those two there. Again, -25 is bigger than -100. It's the opposite of what you think. Okay, so we got 25 over here, and -25, -50, -75, -100. Okay, between 0 and 25 is 25. Between 0 and -100 is 100. So you add those two up, you get 125. Kind of like this, but they just flip spots on us there. Okay. Flip spots. And in this one, it would be 25 minus -100. You would add those two, and you get 100 plus 25 is 125. Inequality symbols compare numbers. Inequality sentences can be shown visually as sections on a number line. Okay, like I said, inequality is an inequality is a range of values on a number line. So here we're going to look at some. Okay, think of a number. The number you think of may be at any of these specific points. So when you think of a number, it could be any of those. A thick line with arrows shows that any point within that section is acceptable. So with this one, it's just these certain points that are acceptable. With this solid line with arrows, anything in that on that blue is acceptable. Think of a number greater than 3. Okay, so here's 3, and I've got some closed dots and some open. An open circle, which looks like this, means the number is not allowed. Is the number 3 allowed? Well, look here. I got an open circle at 3, and it wanted a number greater than 3. If you think of the number 3, is 3 greater than 3? And the answer is no. 3 is not greater than 3. A thick line and an arrow shows which numbers are allowed. If the number is n, then this number line shows n greater than 3. You could also use an X there if you wanted. The number 3 is not greater than 3, so it is not allowed. So we got an open circle here, and we got our arrow going this way because I can choose any of those numbers. Let's say I choose 5. 5 is greater than 3, and 5 might be right there, so I can choose it. Think of a number greater than or equal to 3. Okay? So now they've filled in 3 because of this word equal. It's a closed circle. I can choose it now. This number line shows n greater than equal to 3. This number 3 is still the boundary point, but it is now allowed. Okay, so now I can have this 3 and anything above because of that word equal. All right, let's try number 7 here. Where am I? So they're going to give me some clues, and I got to figure out where it is. So clue, I am less than 300. My name is P. Where am I? Use symbols, show everywhere I could be. So this looks like 0, 100, 200, 300, 400. Okay, I'm less than 300. So here's 300. It doesn't say I can include 300. So we're going to have an open circle there, and it's less than. So the numbers less than 300 are this way. So I like to draw my arrow above it, and I can choose any number going that direction. So P is less than 300. It gave me the name as P. All right, let's try another one. I am greater than -3. All right, they give me the spacing here. So this is -1, -2, -3. Okay, greater than. So I cannot choose -3, so we're going to have an open circle there, and greater. So the numbers to the right are greater. So we'll pick our arrow going that way. My name is Y. So Y is greater than -3. Okay. Clue number 9. I am greater than -28. Okay, so here's some numbers. They got a big window here. So 30 and 34, halfway between is 32. So it looks like my scale is 2. So here's 28, 26, 24, greater than 28. So I can't be 28. So we're going to have an open circle, and greater is going to the right. So we're going to go to the right. My name is C. So C is greater than 28. Clue, I am less than or equal to -20. All right, we got a number line here, 0 to 40. Halfway between's right here, which would be -20. And then halfway between there's -10. And then we got -30. So it looks like we're going by tens, -50. So -20. less than or equal to. So that's going to be filled in because I can have negative 20. And then I'm less than. So the less than would be going to the left. Okay, so then you have n is less than or equal to, don't forget your little equal symbol there, less than or equal to negative 20. Okay, and the last one here, I am greater than or equal to negative 12. Okay, so I got 0, negative 6, halfway between negative 3. So we're going by threes. So negative 9, negative 12, negative 15. Greater than or equal to negative 12. So that's a closed circle at negative 12. And the greater numbers are going to the right. My name is K. So K is greater than or equal to negative 12. Okay, I want to show you something here with this because some people get a little tricked up with these symbols. Some people only want you to put your letter on the left, and you could if you wanted to, but you don't have to. Okay, the important part with these symbols, let's just start up here. The important part with these symbols is that it opens to the bigger number. So if I put 300 first and P second, my symbol would look different, okay? 300 is going to be bigger than P. So in this case, the symbol would have to go that way. These represent the exact same thing, okay? If I put here negative 3 first and then the Y second, Y wants to be bigger. Right here says my name is Y. So I am Y. Y is greater than 3. So Y is the bigger one. So the mouth there of your symbol has to open up to the bigger one. Here, if I have 28 and C, in this case, 28 is smaller or C is greater. So my symbol would actually be the less than symbol. 28 is less than C. Here, if I put negative 20 first, so N is less than or equal to 20. So negative 20 is actually the bigger number. So negative 20 is greater than equal to N. And the last one here is negative 12 is less than equal to K. It does not matter the side that you put your letter on, okay? Teachers prefer that you put the letter on the left. That's nice, and it makes things a little bit easier when grading and that kind of stuff, but know that you don't have to. You can put your letter on either side. All right, we're going to stop there for this lesson, the lesson 4 part 1, and then we'll pick it back up with lesson 4 part 2. Thanks for watching.